All right. The thief. We've been walking this road for a little bit now. We've been walking this road for a little bit now. We started this road actually a couple of months ago, right, First Lady?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We started talking about what? The thief himself. If you missed it, please go on to YouTube and you can check out the first 2, even 3 parts of the thief. It's very good, but you don't need to in order to get this one. If you miss the first 2 or even the first 3, you'll still be able to follow along with this one. But it does help because it gives you context. We discovered that there are 3 types of thief. We discovered also that the thief comes to kill, to steal, and to what? Destroy. So, steal refers to the past. God has given you things, right? God has given you things. The things that God has given you, gifts. Not only just gifts. I mean, beyond gifts. He's given you financial things, right? He's given you maybe a place to live. He's given you food. He's given you shelter. God has given you the provisions to live. But He's also given you spiritual gifts as well.
Yeah.
Satan, the thief, or a person acting on Satan's behalf, comes to steal that which God has already given you.
Yes.
Once he has stolen that, let's get a little bit more philosophical. He also wants to steal your memory of what God has done for you. God often told the Israelites to what? Remember.
Yes.
The feast days were what? A remembrance. The holidays were a what? Remembrance. It was designed so that people didn't forget or lose track of who brought them out of slavery, who crossed them over the River Jordan, who crossed them over, so on and so forth. So God designed the calendar of the Israelites to what? Remember.
Yes.
God wants to steal your memory. Satan wants to steal your memory of God.
Yeah.
What's going on? Can we
Somebody's in.
okay. Can we close that door then until they finish? Because the noise, I don't know what's going on back there. Thank you. Satan wants to distract me. Satan wants to distract me. So, Satan wants to steal the memory of what God has done for us.
Yes.
He wants to snatch it from us. He wants to take it from us. If he can steal that which God has given us physically and the memory of what God has done for us spiritually, then he can cut us off at the root. And we are ready to what? Die. But what is death? Remember I said a couple of weeks ago that death spiritually is the what?
Separation from God.
Is the separation from God. So when I say the thief comes to kill, what does that mean? That means the thief is coming to what? Separate you
from God.
Separate you from God. So once he's taken away your memory of what God has done for you, then you're in a prime position because you have no root, no foundation to die. So now we're in destroy. Now we are ready for destroy. Destroy is the worst. Destroy of the 3 is the worst. Because you can always get your memory back. God, Jesus showed that which is dead can what? Be brought to life.
Yes.
But destroy. Once something is utterly destroyed, is done. You see, it's different than kill. You can be dead, and Jesus can bring you back.
Amen.
But if you allow Satan to destroy you, but what does that mean? What does it mean to be destroyed? What does it mean to be destroyed? Destroy is your future. Once God has taken the past, He kills you right now, and then He destroys that which God was going to give you in the future. He cuts you off from that which God is going to lead you to. You're walking down a path, and the devil comes and separates you from that path and walks you down a different path. And now that path that was open to you, since you have been destroyed, is no longer open, and now you have lost. Destroy is the destruction of your future. The future that you would have had in Jesus. Destroy is the destruction of your future. When I was a little boy, we grew up in an area that was ridden with crack cocaine, right? In our alleyway, my alleyway was crack central. Yeah. That alleyway saw so much bloodshed and needles I can't even begin to describe. Gang wars and drive-by shootings and prostitution, everything happened in that alleyway. My grandmother and I, one day, we caught the bus to school. And my grandmother one day, she noticed out of the corner of her eye, and I noticed it too, there was a very nice Mercedes-Benz that drove up to the corner where they were selling the crack, you see. And they drove up, and it was a very pretty Asian lady. And she rolled down the window every morning, almost about the same time that we would be leaving to go to school, and she would buy herself some crack. My grandmother, she looked at me and she said, Aaron, this is before the minister and the pastor, right? She said, Aaron, if you ever want to smoke some crack, all right, I want you to really put in your mind, I want you to put in your mind, burn it into your mind, the picture of that lady in that nice car buying this crack. I said, Granny, why do you want to do that? It seems like she's doing well. She's dressed well. Her hair looks nice. She's in a beautiful car. Why would you want me to imprint in my mind the vision of this? Because it would seem like you're telling me that crack cocaine does well for people, right? My grandmother said, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I want you to see the progression of her life. I don't know how long it's going to take. You see, right by the apartments, you remember this, Mom, there was a mattress. Remember the mattress? It came in a mattress just randomly one day. Well, it was like brand new. But then all of a sudden, from it being used, it started to become disgusting. And I was like, who would lay on that? Jesus. And my grandmother said, I don't know how long it's going to take, but eventually she's going to be on that mattress. Months went by. 1 month, every morning. Well, in the beginning it was once a week. Then it became twice a week we would see her. Then it became almost every day we would see her. And then she stopped driving a car and started walking. And then she lived there. And then she was on the mattress. And then she was dead on the mattress. I think it was about 6 months. 6 months. Why do I tell you this story now? The drug was the thief. I want you to really get this. The drug was what?
Thief.
The thief. Because remember, the thief is an agent of the devil. And the drug was acting as what?
Thief.
An agent of the devil. And the drug stole everything. It started with her stuff. She didn't have her car anymore. She didn't have her nice clothes anymore. Then it started with her own self-respect. Because she didn't look as kept as she used to when she was walking and catching the bus. And I guess she lost her job. And then, so now how do you pay? So then it killed her. It killed her. Which means what? Separated her from God.
Yeah.
And by the time she was on that mattress dead, I know that that's not where God had planned for her. That was not her trajectory.
Yes.
But we all get a choice, right? So God had a trajectory, and she allowed the thief to move her in a trajectory that ended up on a stained mattress. It stole from her the very future which God had for her and replaced it with a mattress. Destruction is the end. You can come back from death. You can come back from death. When I see someone lost and dying, I think to myself, that person can what? Come back. God, Jesus resurrected people in the Bible. Those people what? Came back. God put a prophet on a mountain, and they were over a city of dry bones, and he said, can these bones live? You can come back from death. But there was some Jesus just kept right on walking. Because once you're destroyed, once you have allowed the thief to take everything from you and move you from the trajectory that you were on to the trajectory of complete and utter desolation, the only way to come back from that is that person must completely die. Now I'm telling you how to come back from desolation. Now I'm telling you how to come back from being dead. See, I'm not just going to leave you with the destruction. That would be wrong of me. I'm going to tell you now how to come back. Someone's got to die for you to live. Someone's got to die for you to live. The woman on the mattress, she's dead and gone. Destroyed utterly. Before you get to that point, you must decide that you are no longer going to live that life. Once you make that decision, All right, let me put it a different way. The graveyard is a nice place to hang out. It's filled with fun things. It's filled with fun people. It's filled with all the sin laid out in front of you. You don't realize it's killing you until what? Until you're dead. You want to get out of the graveyard. What do you need to do? The person, once you're in the graveyard, that person in the graveyard needs to die and make way for the birth of the person in Christ. Because desolation is destruction. The person that I was before I did ministry still exists to a degree because it's a part of my story. But I had to let that person what? Die. Why did I have to let that person die? Because I can't carry that dead baggage into this new life. If I carry the dead baggage into this new life, sometimes we have problems in, let's say, our job, right? I have a problem with my boss. I have a problem with the people around me. I'm arguing with them. They're arguing with me. We go back and forth. I seem to not have any problems. So what is the thought in my mind? What am I thinking now? If I can just what? If I can just get another job, see? If I can just get another job, then all my problems are going to go away. But then I get another job, and after a period of time called the honeymoon, guess what? The problems seem to just come right on back. I'm now arguing with my boss again. Now I'm arguing with the people around me again. So I say, okay, now I need to do what? Get another job, because that job is causing me problems. So then I find another job. Okay, I'll give you a different example. I have a girlfriend. And my girlfriend is causing me problems. She's cheating on me, she's lying, and all of this. So now what do I need to do? I need to do what? Get a new girlfriend. So I get a new girlfriend. And after this period of time, guess what happens?
Same problem.
Now all of a sudden I got the same problems. It's like I dumped one girl and got the same girl. Okay, you're still not with me. I live in an apartment. This happened to me before. The people in my apartment cause me problems. I'm arguing with them. They're banging on the door. They're banging on the walls, and I keep it down. So then, if I could just do what? Move to another apartment, then what? I'm going to be fine. So I move out of there, and I move to another apartment. And after a period of time, what happens? Eventually, I have to see that it's not them, it's what? Because every time I move to a different girl, or a different job, or a different apartment, who's not moving? Me! I'm just picking up the old stuff and moving it to where? The news. But the stuff has not changed. It's still my same stuff. So the change can't be in them. It has to be in what? Because if the change isn't changed in me, then I'm going to attract to me what? The same stuff. So how do you stop that? How do you have life more abundantly?
Yes.
Because Jesus is saying He wants to give you life what? You have to die to have that. You have to be willing to give up, to sacrifice, to feel the pain of loss. So much much in this society is about avoiding pain.
Yes.
We want to numb ourselves out so that we no longer feel pain. We don't want to feel anything. Jesus never said that as a Christian you're not going to feel pain.
Yes.
In fact, it's the exact opposite. Look at Paul's life. I would suggest to you, Paul's life got 1,000,000 times harder when what?
Turn to Paul. You became a Christian.
When he was Saul, he was living the life. When he was Saul, he was running around on a horse. He was having dinners with the kings and whatever. He was living his life and he was doing exactly what he wanted to do. When he found Jesus, all of a sudden what? Now he's being thrown in jail.
Yes.
You have to die and be willing to give all of that up and step out into the void. You don't know what life is going to be like over here. But if you step out into the void and Jesus is with you, then you're not alone. But it's hard to give up stuff. Look, I'm going to be real with you. It's hard to give up your stuff.
Yes.
How do you give up that which you've already done? How do you give up that which is the life that you've always known? You haven't always known that. That's a lie of the devil. The lady that was on the mattress, I'm sure she felt at that moment that was all that she had. Was that mattress. Because the thief does what? Steals your what? Memory. She forgot who she was. And picked up this new person that's on a mattress. Tell me that's not destruction.
It's real.
But to come back from that, you have to be willing to give it all up. And to feel the pain of giving it up. Friends, loved ones, even family members that don't jive with this new person that you're trying to become has to what? They have to be pushed to the side. I've lost friends doing this ministry thing.
Yes.
I've lost friends that I thought were good friends until what? I'm doing this ministry thing. So many times I found myself, not literally, but figuratively, on that bed. In a place where I woke up one day and was like, how did I get here? How did I get here? How did I get in this position? I don't understand how I got in this position. But now I'm here. But then you want to leave, so you're like, okay, I'm going to leave. But I'm going to leave all the bad stuff, but I'm going to take what? The happy stuff. The stuff I like. I don't like this part. See, I don't like waking up feeling sick, but I like the alcohol. I like the fun night, but I don't like the morning. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to... Anyone make a deal like that? Mm-hmm. I'm only going to do half. I'm only going to do half. See, because I don't want to give up the fun stuff. I just want to give up what? The painful stuff. But I still want what? The fun. I want the fun of being in sin, but I don't want the pain of being in sin. I want the fun, but I don't want what? But until you're ready to give it all up, you'll remain destroyed. And some people will never give it up. That's why I say destruction is hard to come back from. That's why I say destruction, once you've got to the point of destruction, you are destroyed. Utterly. Completely. It's hard to get to the destruction point. Most of us think we're destroyed, but we're actually what? Dead. Most of us feel destroyed, but we're actually dead. Your trajectory has been blown. You're no longer on the trajectory you should be. You know it in your heart. You are not in the trajectory you should be. But what? You're not destroyed. You're simply what? Dead. Because destruction is a complete destruction of all of who you are. How do I know we're not destroyed? Because you're here. Because you're listening to me. Because there's some part of you that's still calling out to try to find what? Jesus. But once that part goes away, once you no longer hear that voice saying that's not right, once you no longer feel that tug at your heart, once you no longer feel that you have completely given, have you met people like that? That have completely just given themselves over. You don't have to be a Satanist to give yourself over. That's what we think. See, we're looking for Satanists. And we're missing the Satanist that's hiding in plain sight. Because destruction is a horrible thing. It's a horrible, horrible thing. I want none to go to hell. That's destruction, right? I want none. If one person goes to hell, that's one person too many. One. One person goes to hell, that's one person what?
Too many.
Because that one person is utterly what? Destroyed. Completely cut off. That's why I told you, while she was on the mattress, she wasn't destroyed, she was what? Dead. Which means she was what? Separated from God. When she finally died on the mattress, she was what? Destroyed. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
The moment that we're still calling out to God, the moment that we're still searching, the moment that we are still doing whatever, maybe, you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. You still got a little bit of life left. But once you're destroyed, there's no coming back. So what is our goal, Christians? What am I leaving you with? I'm leaving you with this. What would it look like if we believed hell was real? What would we do? It would be the same as stopping a child from going into a burning building. What would you do to stop a child, a 5-year-old, from going to a burning building? The lost are like 5-year-olds. And we know as Christians that there is a burning building called what?
Yeah.
And once you're in that burning building, you don't burn for a moment, you burn for a what? Eternity. Because they are utterly what? Destroyed. I charge you with this. If you're listening to me, you are not destroyed. You are only dead. Which means you can what? Be resurrected. By what? Jesus Christ. Because He is what? The door. To who? God. But I also charge you with this. If you are a Christian, your one and only task is to do what? Save people from being what? Destroyed. That is our only task, Christians. That is what we are here to do. We are here to go to the graveyard, to go to the dead, to go to those that have been separated utterly from what? Christ. And to show them what? Ourselves? No, to show them what? Christ. So that they aren't what? Destroyed. Thank you. All right. Let's go to questions. Let's go to questions. Yeah. Speak loudly.
My
A
question.
little louder. Speak with the chest.
No.
Say it. My question today is, why would you go into this section of the thief?
All right. Because that's where the Bible led. There was 3 parts, and this 3rd part was destruction. To answer your question even fuller, it was the part that I was dreading the most, because it is so bleak and sad to talk about hell. And it is not my favorite subject, so I guess I put it off. But so yeah, that's your answer. If I had my choice, I would not have gone to this part, because the discussion of hell and destruction is not a happy subject. All right, questions? Yes, sir.
Could you kind of explain a little bit more about you have to kill yourself in order to resurrect yourself? That's not what it said.
Okay, thank you. I was hoping that someone would ask that question. When you're baptized, have you ever heard when you're baptized you go to a watery grave? You heard that? We say it, but what does that mean? See, baptism now has been used as an instrument of the in and the out crowd, I call it, right? Right? Like you get the in crowd, you've been baptized, or you're the out crowd, you haven't been baptized, right? And if you're in the in crowd, then, you know, I'm good, right? And if you haven't been baptized, and you're in the out crowd, right? And so we've used baptism as a way of saying I'm Christian, right? So I'm a Christian because I've been baptized, right? But in the Bible, very clearly it states that not every Christian was what? By water. Every Christian has been baptized, but not necessarily by water. Some are baptized by fire. Not the Holy Spirit. Fire. What does that mean? Water is nice. You ever drown? I drowned once. It's actually kind of peaceful. You see the water is blue. It's peaceful. But fire, that ain't peaceful. Fire ain't peaceful at all. Fire is a burning, right? What is it burning though? It's burning away what? The old you. See, some people, like, does every child need to be spanked? No. Some children, you can just say, stop that. And they go, ah, and they don't do it no more, right? But some children, talking about me, don't listen to you when you say that. Some children think you're joking and go, whatever. Oh, don't do it? Okay. When she turns back around, like, my mom, she told me not to do something, and she was like all mad and angry, and my friends outside were like, oh man, you're gonna get beat. And I was like, I'm totally gonna get beat. And I walked in the house, and she just said, don't do it, and she walked back out, and my friends were like, what happened? I was like, she didn't do nothing, she just told me to stop. So then what happened? I got beat when I did it again. Because some people, the watery grave ain't good enough. You go down, you come back up, and you are what?
Same.
The same. For some, the watery grave is everything. Because they've been waiting for that watery grave, and now they say, man, this represents a change in my life. You see, this I understand that going down and coming up, I'm a change. But some people, like me, they need what? The fire to burn off all that stuff. And the fire is pain. You go through enough. There's this movie called No Country for Old Men. Great movie. In the movie, there's a guy that finds like $1 million in a bag. And he's running, and he's running. And the guy that's looking for him is looking for the bag. And he finally finds him. And he asks him this one question that shook me to my core. He said, when have you had enough? He didn't ask me for the money. He just said, when have you had what? Enough. When have you had enough? When are you tired enough to just give me the money? When have you been beaten enough? Because he was in the hospital at the time. Remember that scene? He's in the hospital at the time, and he's in Mexico, and all this horrible stuff has happened. It's like halfway through the movie. And the guy simply asks him one question. When have you had what?
Enough.
Enough. That's the fire. See, we all are looking towards the water, but some people, once they hit the water, they've already been baptized. That's what led them to the water, is that they've already been baptized by what? Their life has already been so messed up that they look around and they say, I have to leave that behind. That person that was there before the fire needs to die. And then the new person, you don't know who that's going to be. That's the fear, right? You don't know who that person's going to be. I don't know. I know who this sinner is. I know who this person is here in the messed up whirlwind of my life, but I don't know who the person is after the fire purges all of that out. Yes?
Now, my mom used to have a saying. She used to say, you have to crucify self, meaning get out of the way so that God can use you. You got to get self out of the way. So, and then I had a deacon friend that said, let Jesus bear the cross alone and all the world go free. There's a cross for everyone and there's a cross for me. Meaning the same thing. When you say kill yourself, you're saying like crucifying yourself so that you get out of the way, so that God can use you.
And I'll take you even deeper than that. When you say crucify yourself, the cross doesn't represent death. It represents what?
Life.
Because Jesus died and then he rose. You see what I mean? So when he came back, he walked around, right? And the disciples that had been with him every day didn't even what? Didn't even recognize. Who is this man? Because the old Jesus, who they knew, was what? Dead and gone. This is a new Jesus. That's a representation for us. Because we're all striving to be what? Like Jesus. So when you say, what does it mean that I say to commit suicide? What I'm really saying is, you have to allow yourself to die, meaning all of those things that were holding you down, just let them go.
Spiritually.
The fun, the happy, all of that. Drop it right there. Change your number. Stop calling that girl. Do what you need to do. Run. Because the new person, after the fire is done, if you carry this stuff with them, that fire is going to what? Happen again. Because the fire didn't work. We watched this show called Forged in Fire, right? You didn't watch it, Forged in Fire? Forged in Fire? Yeah, we watched it. So it's about, you know, they take this hunk of iron, it's like this, it's like just a hunk of iron, and then they make this like sword out of it, right? Like, how did this sword come out of this beautiful work of sword come out of this ugly hunk of iron? What did they do? They put it where?
Fire.
In the fire.
And then they would take it out the fire, hammer it up. Guess what? Not ready yet. So what would they do?
Put it back in the fire.
Take it out, hammer it up. Guess what? Not ready yet. What did they do?
Put it back in the fire.
Now, sometimes they would put it in the fire, take it out. Oh, it's ready, and hammer it right away. Now, the question is, how many times do you have to get put in a fire until what? You're ready.
Yeah, I feel, I don't really have a question, but I feel like for me to be at this point in ministry, I had to be put in fire multiple times. I'm one of those kids, I had to get spanked. Mom knows. I was one of those kids that I had to feel and experience pain and irritation, and I had a lot of fun, but that fun didn't really provide the happiness I thought I was gonna get. And then I got burnt so many times, and then just dried up to the point where I felt like if I was that old person, I couldn't be able to. It's amazing how God just lined things up, because I could not be able to be in ministry like this or help other people if I was that same selfish person, or I couldn't even say selfish, but that same person I was before.
Right.
Because I was selfish at some point, honestly, but I couldn't be that same person. So it's amazing how God just knew I was going to get to this point and put me through fire multiple times, and then boom, here I am, because I have no desire to be that old person, and I'm enjoying my life more, but I do have less friends, and that's
Because
just,
they have to be burned away.
and I know God is going to give me new good friends that understand me in that position. And if I don't, I have my family, my good family, and I feel like those are my good friends.
All right, any other questions?
I don't know if I have a question.
A little louder, Mom.
I'm not sure I have a question. I'm just going to say what is on my heart. For people who have never experienced Christ, has never trusted Him, it's a day-by-day situation. Because it says that your faith will grow as a mustard seed. And a mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds that you can plant, but it's one that grows the fastest. And what that scripture to me is saying is that if I trust Him in this area, He will show Himself and prove Himself to be God. When another situation comes up, because He proved Himself in this situation, I can trust Him in this situation, and He'll prove Himself, and then my faith grows because He keeps proving He's God in every facet of my life. And as that faith grows, you read more about who He is to know that all the things that He has done for others, He will do for you and more, because He will tailor-make every blessing that you need and have experienced to just you. He doesn't half-bake a whole bunch of blessings and throw them out there. He gives you what you need when you need it. And that is the mustard seed syndrome for me. Is that in every aspect of my life, if I could trust Him here and He did it, I can trust Him more and more and more. And as that trust grows, your faith grows. And as your faith grows, your relationship with God becomes a personal relationship, because now you trust Him to be all that He has said He will be in your life. And that's faith, and that's Christianity, is having a relationship with Christ that is personal. You can't get to personal until you trust Him to be all that He has called you to be.
Right, and then when we look at still, that ties into still, because the inverse happens also. If God saves me in this area, and then I forget it, then I don't have anything to lean on in this area. So then God takes me here. But then what? I forget it because it's stolen from me. And then God has to, so I'm constantly what? Starting over. Instead of building, I'm just at ground level because God constantly has to keep doing the exact same thing because I keep putting myself in the exact same position because I'm not recognizing where God is in that position. You see? So while the mustard seed syndrome is true, only if you recognize God in this position and then change yourself. And the change is what you were talking about. Okay, we have any other questions?